Trucks have finally come to Raceroom. If you've been around a while on this channel, you'll know I absolutely love truck racing and racing trucks. But we've finally got them in my go-to simulator. So we're going to jump into an online lobby and see what happens. I'm sure it's going to be pretty crazy. Alright, so we've qualified in P3 actually, so we've not done so bad. I guess my previous truck experience in Assetto course coming in there. As the lights go green, and you pretty much just got to frantically shift up the gears until the wheels stop spinning, and you see we actually get a pretty decent launch there, but we get stuck behind this guy in front and someone sends it up the inside. We're at Brands Hatch Indy, by the way. So a very short circuit with plenty of corners, perfect for truck racing. I think they actually do them in real life as we try to go around the outside. A bit of contact there, you hear the big crunch, but I think we get the move done. And they're going side by side in front of us. Can we just sneak up the inside of this guy, the number 8 truck? It doesn't look like it then, as we carry on now. 8th gear, top gear. It actually has 16 gears, but you only really have 8 in the paddle shift mode that I'm using here. I think you can split them, but this works fine. We're just defending from the truck behind. These things like to go sideways. They've got so much torque. I think they have about 1100 horsepower, and I can't remember the exact torque figure. It's a few thousand, about 4,000, 5,000 around that kind of area. We're going to T1, the number 8 nearly rolls it. It's brilliant to see. And we managed to get the overtake done. We do go a bit defensive, as we're kind of just riding this curb, waiting to get the power down. You only really use the top 3 gears in this thing, the 3 high range gearboxes, and even in kind of 6th it can spin its wheels, so it's a very interesting driving experience. It's not like driving anything else. A lot of short shifting out of corners. The kind of way I found works is you've kind of got to induce a bit of a spin, get the rear rotating, and then kind of shift up early to try and catch it and stop putting so much torque through. That seems to be the way to drive them, although these guys were a few tenths quicker than me. But we lock the rears up there, as I kind of have my brake bias around about, I think, 63% to the front, just to try and stop the front tyres overheating so much. You can see the front left is already, well, it's gone. There's going to be no cooling that down. We're going to see if we can just sneak up the inside, as the guy in front there makes all sorts of mistakes. He goes wide there at Graham Hill Bend. We're side by side now into this long left-hander. He backs out of it. I send it through. And now we've got a back marker here already. So just try and use the brakes to get the thing slowed down. So much weight in this thing. And then we can nip it up just the inside of the back marker there. And that's going to help us out a little bit. I think we have a little bit of a gap to the guy behind. Now it's all just about solid, quick, consistent laps. Now in qualifying and practice, like I say, the 2 guys we've overtaken, they were a few tenths a lap quicker than me, so we'll see what we can do. We come into this corner holding a lot of brake right into the corner, just trying to get the thing slowed and turned round. It's so much understeer in this thing, as you can imagine. I can't remember how much it weighs, like multiple tons, I'm sure. But we're doing alright for now then. Yeah, the front left is, that's dead and gone. It's bright red, and there's going to be no getting that back. Now, you do have water-cooled brakes on this. I have it set to automatic, just because there's kind of enough to think about. You can see my input there with the steering wheel, just trying to get the thing in a straight line. It doesn't really do straight lines, doesn't this thing? It's definitely an experience. But there you go, fastest lap of the race. I think we were 1/10 faster than the guy in front. Keeping it in 7th for the first corner. Even then it's the rear stepping out a bit. Another back marker is going to park it right on the inside, so make a bit of contact again as we try and go around the outside. track limits there, and that's slowed us down. Now the guy behind back on his tail. We try and go defensive, but it doesn't really. The defensive lines don't really work in this thing. It's pretty funny. As we now go and get this corner down into 7th.
Okay, Geordie.
Into this. Sector 1 is clear. And the guy behind very nearly making contact as we try and get the thing turned rear, step in, massive drift round that corner. And it looks like these two guys behind are starting to catch us. Locking the tyres as well, so we've got to be careful there. I mean, in this in this truck, when you get a flat spot, you definitely feel it in the steering wheels. Even in my like cheap Logitech, there's so much vibration going on, it's crazy. But yeah, really holding the brake as long as we can, try and get the thing turned. Like I said, it is you can try and get the rear rotated with on the power. It's very kind of temperamental as if it'll understeer or oversteer. It's very hard to judge, but it's what makes this thing so fun. I've got to say, this is the most fun I've had in a racing sim for some time, as we just narrowly avoid the back marker there. Unfortunately, I think the guy behind me does get collected in that, so we've just got Andreasen behind us now. This guy will, I think, the quickest or the second quickest. He is a very, very quick driver, is Andreasen. We'll see how he can manage the truck as we come into T1. He's a lot later on the brakes than me, so we hit the apex nicely and get the power down. Now, I've got to brake a little bit earlier than normal, locking the rears up again there. And, that's kind of another technique you can do if you can kind of get the rear rotated on the brakes, but after a certain angle it just keeps going, and you can see how much steering I'm having to put in just to get the thing turned. It's absolutely bonkers, but a lot of fun, and because they're so big as well, it's really hard to make a pass. I mean, there aren't really many places where you can go like side by side. So let's try and get the power down here. Another back marker. I think some people are struggling with the truck a little bit. Like I say, there is a certain way you got to drive it. It's a bit different to other things. And of course, you have the speed limiter. It gets limited around 100 miles an hour. I think 98 miles an hour, something like that. So even if you're getting the slipstream, again locking the rear wheels, trying to get the thing turned. So you can see there I'm kind of jabbing the power to try and get the rear to rotate, where it's just having none of it. It can never make its mind up what it's going to do. I think he might have got a bit of a switchback move on us there. Andreasen is looking up us inside. Is he going to send it here? We've got to give him some sort of space, but the truck just won't turn. We go off the track. And we try and slow the thing down for the last corner, side by side, a bit of contact. There's nowhere to really go. The truck going sideways, absolutely crazy stuff. He has got a bit of a run on us here then, as we go up the hill. But again, we're just going to hit that limiter, and there's nothing he can do now. We've got the inside line. We're going to try and squeeze him out wide, but he's later on the brakes. It pinches us in a little bit, and it gets the move done. Fair play to him. So we're going to see if we can send it to the inside, but no, he blocks us off. So we try and get a switchback move, but it's just not going to work at all in this thing. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so we're in second place now, and I think now Andreasen's in front of us. I think he's just going to run away with it a little bit here. But what a load of fun this has been. We still have a couple of laps left, just a short 10-minute race here. And we'll try and attack him if we can, but I just don't think there's anything we're going to do as he gets the rear out there. Fantastic stuff. That's kind of what you got to do to get the thing turned. You got to rotate it, because steering alone doesn't really help you in this thing. But there we go then, back up the hill. We're still in P2, and I think Andreasen is starting to just run away with it a little bit, as we are starting to get a lot of understeer now. That front left is just absolutely dead, and so not much we can do. Someone somehow gets disqualified, I guess. Too many incident points. But man, what a race this has been, and what a load of fun this has been. As we yeah, look at the gap now. Andreassen's got crazy. He is a really quick driver, so fair play to him. The tyres constantly screeching as we nearly go off track there, trying to make the line as wide as possible. Get the power down, short shifting a little bit just to keep the thing in a straight line. As that torque just takes over and spins the wheels as we come across the start-finish line. Andreassen gets the fastest lap, 58.2. So we've got one more lap to go. Hopefully we can hold it together and secure the podium. But yeah, the tyre, that front left, has completely gone now. Absolutely nothing we can do. It's nice that you can cool the brakes. I just wish there were a way you can cool the tyres. You see there, the rear starts to go and then it just starts pushing the front, and we get oversteer going into understeer as we get oversteer on the exit there. All kinds of steer except for the direction you want to go. But what an amazing race this has been. A lot of fun. It put a massive, massive smile on my face. This has probably been one of Raceroom's best content drops, at least while I've been playing the game, and yeah, I hope it stays popular. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.
That's a podium.